Hi, everybody. It is Friday, the 28th of July, 2023. Um, just need to remind everybody, yeah, I'm a psychic, clairvoyant, clairaudient. Everything that is said on this channel is for entertainment purposes only. So please do your own research, figure out your own opinion, and let's go from there. Uh, just want to let's just go through my notes. I started these on Wednesday after I finished filming that video. So right now it's about 9:40 in the morning Central Standard Time. So if stuff happens after I finish filming and before this is released to the general public at 4:30 Central Standard Time, it'll be brought up to date on Sunday, which is the 30th. Okay, now we've got, I do want to send out my condolences to the Wirtz family here in the Chicago area. They're the owners of the Chicago Blackhawks. Rocky Wirtz passed away, and in the past, I did have business dealings with him, and I always found him to be a wonderfully gracious guy. So, I mean, my heart goes out to the Wirtz family and the entire Chicago Blackhawks family on losing a great guy. Now, something else that's popped up, we know that Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has visited the White House. I mean, I'm poking around for more information, but nothing really has been popped out because we know everything has been overshadowed by somebody else's behavior. So I wonder, yeah, if Giorgia Meloni is visiting the White House, is Jilly Poo still out on her European vacation that our tax dollars are paying for? So, yeah, I'll have to double check that. Now, a recent study has come out, and they're stating that most of the college towns are now very, very blue. I mean, that's the 18 to 34 age rank. Well, you know that if you capture the kids young and get their brains twisted around your little finger, you're going to have control of those people for life. I mean, that was kind of, go find the movie with, called The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie with Maggie Smith. Watch it and listen very closely to the dialogue. And that's kind of what it explains what is happening to our youth now. Because the kids that are on the college campuses right now, they're the parents and children of the college kids are actually the children and grandchildren of the people who were coming of age during the Summers of Love between 68 and basically 72. The real hippie generation, they were in their 20s during that time. And so their kids and grandkids are now basically running the country. And they're the offspring of the hippie generation that go back and look at the left-wing idiots that were preaching to those people. And I think you will really be surprised. And you will notice, no wonder our country isn't such a mess up. Now, the African country of Niger, now we all know that there has been a military coup. Well, just prior to this, Blinken paid a visit. It seems like wherever Blinken goes, trouble follows. Now, uh, we know that in many African nations, there's a heck of a lot of corruption. And they're also getting a lot of pressure from different extremist religious groups. So it's not pretty in different African countries. There's a lot of stuff happening. So in Niger, their former president Bazoum was booted out, and he's a big he sides with JoJo, and was really tight with Blinken when he was over there. And it seems like ever since that country gained its independence from being a French colony, on a frequent basis, there's a military coup taking over. So it's just, something's whacked going on over there. And I know a lot of those countries are being supported by the Big Red Sea. So we need to keep our eyes on it, because the Big Red Sea is trying to, Niger is one of their main products for export is uranium. And anybody who's seen that movie Oppenheimer knows what uranium is used for. Okay? Now, during my adventures down various rabbit holes, I have found some stuff out. And, okay, I do have a second kind of an ick Chromebook that I use a VPN on, and I can go into the darker shades of the internet. And I'm finding out more and more stuff. Now, way back when, few years ago, everybody was tossing around the term white hats and Q stuff, and I'm just like, and I always thought that this stuff, everyone that I was listening to, they're all full of cow patties. So it's just not making sense. And something that I found in the darker recesses of information, it's like that the people who say that they're white hats are actually the ones working against us. And a lot of people just, like, they blindly follow this woke nonsense. They blindly followed this white hat nonsense so there were two groups of lemmings. And yeah, I called back on January 6th, I was on a talk show, and they asked my opinion of things, and I said, yeah, Mike Pence is a white hat. Well, now everybody was saying, oh, I'm nuts for saying that. But now, slowly it's being revealed that those white hat people were actually working against us, working against the better good. So they basically set up a lot of nonsense to happen. It's not good. We're going to see the underbelly side of what the white hats are really about, just like we're going to see the underbelly of the woke fools. So, it will be happening soon. Now, the other thing we're seeing all over the news is the banking scandal that started out because of Nigel Farage losing his bank accounts. Well, now it's being admitted that NatWest, which is National Westminster Banking Corp, that also owns Coutts Bank, the one that the royal family uses, is now run by, or was run by, numerous people who went to Cambridge. And if you go back and poke around in your history, you're going to find out that Cambridge has always been a hotbed of far left thinking. And during the Cold War, a lot of the double agents were recruited out of Cambridge University. So it doesn't surprise me that these left-wing Cambridge University graduates would then go into and infiltrate the banking systems of the UK. So especially when Nigel started talking more conservative on the right, that the left would have to cancel him out, and the one way they knew they could do it and hurt him the worst is financially. So that's why it's the left-wing wokeism that's infiltrated the banking systems, and that's why they yanked it, because he wasn't following according to their ideology. And now you're seeing resignations all over the place happening, and the investigation is now really going to find out that I'm getting a gut feeling that they've also dipped into the bank accounts of the royal family to pay off evil people. Yeah. Okay. Before I get into the JoJo side of things, I just want to make something known that we all know that everyone's favorite person who consumes a lot of Bud Light beer, well, that transvestite ran off to Peru. Well, we know Peru is going through a lot of stuff, so there's a lot of political upset. But the most recent thing that popped into the news was they were in one of the cities, they were having an event, and I guess it involved live bulls, you know, the animals with the 4 legs, the boy cows, boy cattle. Well, one of these got loose and was running all over town, and I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, is it running off because he heard that Dylan Mulvaney was looking for a new pair of bullocks and he didn't want to be castrated? So yeah, I think that is really, really ironic. Now, the one channel that I listen to on an okay basis is it's called Elon Musk Zone. Well, this morning they put up a video that really, really explains what the World Economic Forum is, its history, and what it does. And it breaks it down into easy language to understand, because a lot of these men who want to control the world use a lot of double talk. So if you really want a clear understanding definition of what the WEF is, go check that out, because they did a very nice way of explaining everything. Now, going back to the banking stuff, NatWest is doing some really stupid stuff, and I caught an interview with Dr. Roger Jawolb. He's an American that few decades ago went over, and he was an advisor to the Bank of England and the UK Treasury. Well, yeah, he talked about how these woke Cambridge people are taking over the banking in the UK and how they're still pushing their ideology. And yeah, he's heard the term reptiles and other aliens and this and that. And he's like, okay, yeah, whatever. But because of this, there are going to be new banking oversights, new reforms, and these reforms are going to they're going to basically be instituted worldwide, especially with JP Morgan and Bank of America. We're finding out that a lot of the banks worldwide are basically insolvent. So thanks to these little corrupt Cambridge people, Cambridge graduates, the and the mess ups in all the banks worldwide is now coming out to open light, and it's not going to be pretty. Now, everyone's watching this stuff going on between the blue and yellow flag country and the others in Russia. Well, something that happened way back when. You see, Japan never signed off on the paperwork pertaining to World War II. And now, because we know the NK country and the Big Red Sea are starting to get really nasty about stuff, yeah, Vlad is playing nice with the Big Red Sea, but he also, remember, he's a product of the KGB. So he knows the not so nice side of the political ideology of the Big Red Sea. So he's looking at making sure that certain islands that are between NK and Japan are being well protected by Vlad's Air Force to make sure that NK does not claim them from Japan. So basically, Vlad is claiming, hey, you guys forgot to sign off on these, but we were awarded these islands after WW2. So if Vlad gets those islands under his control, then NK isn't going to go approach them and will keep them basically free from the bad ideology of the Big Red Sea. Okay? Now, okay, before I get to American politics, something else. Yeah, the UK, I guess Home Office screwed up again. Just like back in WW2 era, they let out the information saying that the Southeast Island countries were basically on their own, so Japan knew that they had no backup, so that's why Singapore and New Guinea and Corregidor and all the islands, Java and everything, all fell under the control of the Japanese. Well, the UK did it again. Somebody screwed up, and they sent out emails to countries that shouldn't have gotten those emails. So everybody is laughing at the inept employees of the British government. So this all traces back to how messed up Rishi Sunak is. I mean, simple, stupid mistakes are happening right, left, and 8 ways to center. I mean, maybe England should bring back an absolute monarchy and get rid of this constitutional monarchy. Maybe Charles would have a better job of running the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth and assisting in the jurisdiction of the Commonwealth countries if he took over running the whole shebang and ditched this stupid prime minister. It could happen. It really could happen. And it wouldn't be, it would kind of be I'm getting a good feeling that it might be a good thing, especially William did get his degree in geography. So people think, oh, geography is just learning countries and their names of their capitals, but there's a lot more pertaining to that. You learn the more inner workings of what's happening in every country. So, natural resources and why people want certain countries on their side. So if it goes back to an absolute monarchy, don't worry, folks. Charles and William know what's going on and know what needs to be done, especially if that is what it's going to take to get rid of the communist Cambridge grads and Rishi Sunak. And they'll also put their foot down against the people coming in on life rafts. So, let's see. I guess we haven't heard too much what's happening in France, but I guess they're still trying to keep it from burning down. But hey, as usual, Macron is traveling all over. He's now traveling out to the old French colonial islands, like French Polynesia. He's going out there and visiting, trying to make sure that they stay on the side of France, the entire Indo-Pac alliance. So he's going out and checking on the old colonies, and so he's looking after the old colonies instead of taking care of his own country right on hand, which, not fun. Now, before I get to the JoJo family, I got something that is interesting. Jilly Poo, before she married JoJo, was married to this guy, Bill Stevenson. Now, Bill Stevenson is now talking what happened during his divorce from Jilly Poo. You see, he lived in Delaware. And Delaware is basically run by the JoJo family. And I'm comparing the JoJo family to one of the big five families that ran New York. And there's similar families that run stuff here in Chicago and other big cities. And basically, he's saying that the JoJo family was worse than dealing with somebody like let me think of some, like, they're worse and more of a headache than like Al Capone could be, and how Al Capone's network could put leverage on people. Well, that's what the JoJo family does. And JoJo relies on his brother Frankie, to do a lot of the legwork, be the strong arm. Yeah. JoJo's brother Frankie is the strong arm of the JoJo crime family. Okay? Not fun. Now, we're finding out more and more stuff, like the JoJo Admin. Okay, we know where Blinken goes, trouble follows. Well, Blinken went over to Saudi Arabia. Now, I used to live there, so the guys that are now running the country were little kids when I was there. So I actually observed their parents, their dads. I mean, my dad worked with the fathers of the current Saudi rulers, the guys who run the country, the crown prince and the king. My dad worked with their dads. So I knew these guys when they were little kids. And I know what they were raised with. And they're playing lip service because the White House, after Blinken went over, visited, they now sent over Jake Sullivan, who's the National Security Advisor, and they're trying to get Saudi, and they're trying to, JoJo's Admin has tried to muscle in and tell the Saudi government what to do. Well, they're not. They're not going to have this total peace accord with Israel until Israel gets their act together. And right now, everybody's going up in arms because of how the government versus the judicial system is all getting torn apart. And now in the Gaza area, they're actually forcing all the children to attend, after normal school in the morning where they learn how to read and write and do mathematics, they're basically forced into Quran school in the afternoons, where these kids are being forced to memorize the Quran. And it's ironic that they had two teachers talking. Yes, the classes are segregated by sex. Boys in one room, girls in another classroom. Whereas the male teacher was dressed in Western style clothing, the female teacher was cloaked in black from head to toe. All you could see were her eyes. Now, in Saudi Arabia, women do cover themselves, but they're not walking around. The younger generation, the women aren't walking around dressed in black head to toe. You see beautiful niqabs and hijabs and chadors. The clothing is beautiful colors. If they do wear something that is black, the embroidery, the multicolored embroidery on it, is simply out of this world. But in the Gaza area, the women are being forced to be dark, muddy, inky black from head to toe. Just like back in Afghanistan, women are being forced into the burqa where you can't even see their eyes. And yet the United States is still, the JoJo Admin is trying to force Saudi Arabia and Israel to become peaceful partners. It's not going to happen until the extreme portion of the pray 5 times a day religion reels back their extremist behavior. So, yeah, and the other thing that's going on is, I guess, CNN is now having a meltdown because their coverage of JoJo's Kid's court case is now going up in smoke, because the judge actually read the plea deal, and the plea agreement state that JoJo's Kid would have immunity from prosecution from everything and anything till the day he crosses the Rainbow Bridge. Well, this judge looked at it and pitched it out the window, so JoJo's Kid is now no plea deal. He does have to go out on trial. It's going to be the first Friday in September. And he has to abide by the federal rules and regs of somebody out on bail, which means he has to stay sober. He has to meet with his parole officer. He has to get a real job with a paycheck. Yeah, JoJo's Kid, I don't think a lot of businesses now, when you go in for the application and part of the hiring process, you have to go in and they do a PP test and a hair test to make sure that you don't have any icky stuff, party favors in your body. Can JoJo's Kid refrain from alcohol and party favors? Not likely. But yeah, now JoJo's Admin is finally revealing the fact, it's been leaked, that back when everybody was told they have to stay in their house for a certain reason, it's now being told that JoJo's Admin told certain forms of social media that if anybody talks about anything pertaining to the worldwide bug, all that information and conversation on social media had to be taken down. So even if you're sending out messages through an internet service provided by Marky Z's software program, even those were supposed to be censored. So yes, the JoJo's Admin is finally admitting that they violated our rights to free speech and bullied Marky Z's company to cave under. But my gut feeling tells me that Marky Z is on the left side anyway, so he didn't mind following the directions, the orders of JoJo. Okay. Now the past few days we've also have seen Mitch McConnell just blank out. Dianne Feinstein, she was in for a Senate vote, and instead of saying yes or no, she started rambling on a tangent, and her staff had to tell her, no, you have to say yes to this. They were telling her what to do. Now, in a lot of businesses and occupations, there's a mandatory retirement age. Why can't we have a mandatory retirement age for politicians? I mean, this is another thing that the donkeys don't want. I mean, they're going to force people like airline pilots and railroad engineers and bus drivers, you have to stop working at a certain age. But the donkey politicians literally can keep on working until the day they die. I think that's really, really unfair. Totally unfair. Now, the donkeys are also doing some other stupid stuff. It was announced today that, okay, Greg Abbott is taking off some of the burden of the state of Texas by sending busloads of these new wetbacks to different countries. Well, Baboon Johnson is having fits because, oh, they just sent 3 more buses up to Chicago. Well, that's basically 150, maybe 200 people arrived. So now what they're doing is one place that they call the Broadway Armory. There's a lot of Chicago Park District field houses all over the city. And they're used for all sorts of programs that the Park District provides for neighborhood residents, like boxing classes, art classes, basketball, volleyball. Some of them are indoor swimming pools. They have all sorts of Park District programs being run out of these field houses. Well, the one up on North Broadway, the Broadway Armory, that neighborhood has just been informed that, oh, it's no longer going to be used for Park District programs. They're going to put close to 200 max. They're going to set up cots and basically using it as a holding pen for the wetbacks. Now that neighborhood is close to Loyola University. There's a lot of young girls walking around. And up in that neighborhood there is a private high school where a lot of young girls attend. And along with all the other there's multiple high schools, Loyola University, and a lot of family residences are up there. So all it's going to take is one kid getting hurt, and then all heck's going to really start breaking loose. And especially up in that area, they call it Little Saigon, Argyle Street, because up on North Broadway is where a lot of the Vietnamese refugees have settled. And they still remember the fall of Saigon and the communist takeover. And yes, they were rescued and brought here to the United States. They settled up in that neighborhood. And it's on the edge of Rogers Park, which houses a large Jewish Orthodox community. So Baboon is now plopping a group of people that primarily are praying 5 times a day into a neighborhood that when they go out, they're going to start aggravating the existing long-term residents. And that is just, that's literally a powder keg. And all it's going to take is one incident and that whole neighborhood is going to explode. Because obviously Baboon Johnson, he was a teacher. Basically, the fool never took a class in cultural anthropology. There's apartment buildings up in that neighborhood that basically are owned by people that pray 5 times a day, and they set up their own little mini mosque in the building. It's not going to be fun. I'm going to sit back and watch the fireworks. Now, for the gruesome twosome, yeah, it's bad enough that they didn't get their Emmy Award nomination, but now, thanks to the strikes, the Emmy Awards aren't even going to be broadcast come this September. Most likely they'll be broadcast after the strike ends and the new contracts are ratified. So they're talking possibly January of 2024. So we're going to have a lot of actors and writers scrambling for any kind of job they can get so they can pay their bills. And it's now been, I heard through back doors that Fran Drescher has now told actors that if they have their own little YouTube channel, and if you're a member of the Writers Guild or Screen Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, you no longer can put up new content on your social media. Hey, that makes it better for the rest of us. Hey, I got screwed out of my SAG card by a couple people. Yep. Yeah, so I don't have a SAG card, so I can keep on talking. Most definitely. And yeah, we know Henry, well, they call it pro se here in the United States. It's called representing yourself before a judge without an attorney. They have a saying: whoever goes up in court representing themselves has a fool for a client. So, hey, Henry, you're not going to get anything on this stupid phone hacking thing, because basically you're past the statute of limitations and you have no hard evidence. So he's just going to get slaughtered. his court case is going down the whirlpool of the commode really fast. And now more people are coming out and talking about, oh, how Rachel is supposedly so philanthropic. Well, everyone that she supposedly gave stuff to, donated, is now coming out and telling the truth. Not. Hey, people in Uvalde, she sent moldy food to. Expired food. Like I've said time and time before, if you're in Texas or you're part Texan, it's like, don't mess with Texas. Rachel, you messed with Texas. Get ready for the cow patties to come your way. Now, I hope everybody has a great day, great weekend. Next video is going up on Sunday. Unfortunately, me bad. Yesterday I was supposed to film with Dave Sapera for the Chaos Report, but time zone mess up. He and I are in different time zones, so I kind of read things the wrong way. That's why I'm like always putting up Chicago time, London time, East Coast, West Coast, you know. I'm sorry. But so we are going to refilm next Tuesday, so it'll be up sometime next week. So, but in the meantime, hey, check out the Chaos Report. Give him some views. If you can, subscribe. And listen to what he has to say. So again, I hope thanks everybody for watching today. Thank you to the people that have pushed my subscriber numbers to over 400. That is so exciting. Like I said, have a great evening. It's Friday night. Have fun. Have fun Saturday. I'll have another video up for you on Sunday. And depending on the weather, I may just have it go up for broadcast as soon as it uploads, so I can go out and play on Sunday afternoon if the weather's nice. So everyone have a good one. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. You know, the thumbs up stuff, and I'll be talking to you on Sunday. Bye bye.